Hello student, welcome back. And today is our class. And yeah. Okay, so let's continue. This is previously we finished until this question for SPM revision. As usual, remember to do your exercise to keep on improving. Diagram 3 shows a set of operators to investigate the relationship between. I like to highlight so that it eventually help us to understand. I also always encourage students to highlight. Wait, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Okay, and mass and inertia. So there is a relationship between mass and inertia. So what is the relationship with mass and inertia?
The higher the mass, the higher the inertia.
Yeah, the higher the mass and the higher the inertia. What is the definition of inertia?
In its existing state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line, unless that state is changed by an external force.
Yes, correct. So it's the resistance of from other unrest or movement from the force. So of course, the higher the mass, then that will be the more inertia. So we can see there's a can 200 gram. We can roughly know the experiment, and then this one is 400 gram, 800 gram. I'm thinking they are going to swing it, because if you swing it, the one that stop is the slowest is to stop is what, A, B, or C?
C.
C, okay, because it's a resistance. As it's moving, is the resistance towards stopping. For example, if I take a bus and a car move in, let's say 40 miles per hour, if I just let the pedal go, I don't want to press the brake, the car will also go, but the bus will go longer because the bus got higher inertia. The bigger the mass, the higher the inertia. 3 can ABC are pushed at the same force, time is taken and is observed. So we can see time taken is 2 minutes, time taken is 4 minutes, and time taken is 15 minutes. So this proves our hypothesis is true, where the higher the mass, the higher the inertia, the more inertia. Based on diagram, state 1 observation in this experiment. So what is the observation in this experiment?
Took the longest time to stop.
Correct. Okay, so this one I don't want to write lah. Team at can C took the longest time to write, while team at can A took the shortest time to what? Time to stop, for example. Okay, so just write this one in word. This whole thing is the word. This whole thing is the observation. It's just like the tabulation of data. State the manipulated variable. What is the manipulated variable?
Weight or mass of the tin, or can or tin. Can.
Yeah, mass of. Okay, so if you read the question, we can see that the mass will be here, mv, and the inertia will be the responding variable, rv. It cannot be this one mv and rv. Don't to balik this because you change this to get the effect of the inertia, not you want to change the inertia to get the effect of the mass. It doesn't make sense. So when we read, we need to know what is the nv and rv responsive variable. Even though it use n, you need to think by yourself, okay, what you want to change in order to manipulate, which is the inertia, is the responding, what it responds. And usually for research, of course, we always target about responding invariable inertia. So you want to take mass, you want to take maybe the volume, you want to take volume effect inertia, mass effect inertia, and maybe you want to say whatever lah, wind effect inertia, I don't know. And then you want to test it out whether your hypothesis is true or false. I'm not saying true, I'm just saying as a you want to experiment it. Okay, state the manipulated variable will be the mass. So this you will get 1 point for this one. Mass of the 10. State one hypothesis of the experiment. What is the hypothesis?
The higher the mass, the higher the inertia.
The higher the mass, maybe I say the longer the time
the time taken.
taken for the can to stop. Okay, but this is the marking scheme lah, but you shouldn't write the higher the mass, the higher I would give correct, but the marking scheme say like this, so I just follow. If candy with 600 grams of soil is used in this experiment, predict the time taken. So if 600 grams, what is the time?
Uh,
Six.
600.
Yeah, 600 grams. So what will be the time?
8 seconds.
8 seconds. So yeah, okay. 8 seconds. 8 minutes lah. You don't write second.
More than 4, less than 15.
Yeah,
8 minutes.
Yeah, it will be between here lah, So probably you want to put 8, 9, or 10, or 11, or 12. Up to you lah, So let's say you put here 8 minutes, for example. Remember to write minute lah. Don't write second, or don't write just 8 lah. State the operation definition of inertia. So we can say that inertia is the time taken. The time taken for the cans to what? To stop swinging. Okay, so this will be the operational definition. Operational definition is different than definition of inertia. Definition of inertia is just now like what you read. Operational definition means what is the definition in this experiment. In this experiment, the definition of inertia is the time taken for the cans to stop swinging. But this, of course, this is not the real definition of inertia. This is the operational definition. So operational definition actually it depends on the experiment. See what experiment you are doing. If you are doing something like this, then it relate to the time taken. That's why we just add the time taken into the definition of inertia. Okay, so yeah, so operation definition. Remember to refer back to the question. So the question is relating to RV. So probably you want to think RV. Maybe operational you need to consider RV. Okay, next section B. Diagram 4.1 show the process of latex coagulation. Chemical X, latex, and coagulated latex. So latex is, we know it is rubber, correct? Rubber.
Yes.
And coagulated latex, it means hardened. Okay, hardened latex. So this chemical latex and coagulated latex. And of course, we want to harden it. Okay, we want to harden it because we want to take it for traveling. Then we soften it back. The word is called, okay, so that's the word lah, not to coagulate. Either we want to coagulate the latex to make it harden, or we don't want to coagulate the latex. So why it coagulate? One way we can make it coagulate is just by leaving it, or we put some acid. Okay, so it's like, how to say, it's like your milk lah, If you left your milk for very long, your milk also will be coagulate, because the bacteria and the virus, the bacteria will grow in your milk. So you put your milk, after a while, then you open out, pour it out, it will okay, so there will be coagulation. For the rubber also is the same. What you need to do is you just leave it. Maybe you leave it for 2-3 days, or maybe 1 day. It will coagulate by itself, because the bacteria will grow, it will produce acid, and it will, as you have the acid, it will start to coagulate. And of course, to not coagulate it back, what we should put? Okay, so of course, if you put acid, it will coagulate, and if you put alkaline, it is like anti-coagulation. Okay, alkali. So maybe this one acid, anything lah, you want to put what acid? HCl or sulfuric acid, H2SO4. coagulate it. Alkaline, you want to put ammonia, okay, and H3. For example, not to coagulate it, because acid has the property of hydroxide ion. Alkaline has the property of hydroxide ion. The reason it coagulates because it got acid, got hydrogen ion, we actually help it the particle to bond, and hydroxide ion act as the opposite. Of course, there is also water lah. Of course, there is a water to some of water to make it work. Acid always need water to show its properties. Without water, it won't be acid. Like if you see in the movie or what, you can see that acid is always in the terms of liquid. It is impossible you get the acid in a solid form. Okay, diagram 4.1 show the proper state one example of chemical X. So what is the chemical S? Example of chemical X. So we can say this is using formic acid. Actually, any acid will do lah, but the marking scheme say formic acid, so I just put formic acid. Actually, if you want to put actually any acid will do actually. State 1 characteristic of the coagulator. So what is the characteristic? Yes, okay, so the characteristic, the rubber will be hardened or more elastic. More elastic. Or you can say it's or slightly harder, okay, but I put here more elastic lah. Chemical S in diagram 4.1 replace with chemical P to prevent the latex. So now the latex is coagulation and we don't want that, we want it to be liquid. State one example of chemical P. Very good. So this one will be ammonia solution. Double M, ammonia solution. Diagram 4.1 show the process where natural rubber. Usually when they are referring to this, they are talking about natural rubber lah. The reason they say natural rubber because now there is a synthetic rubber. Means either they mix it or they fake the rubber. It used to have a very high, if you read history, you know that rubber has a very high value in the market until they make synthetic rubber the rubber price eventually drop a lot. So when natural rubber is heated with sulfur, so instead of putting, either you want to put acid to coagulate it, or you put ammonia to prevent coagulation, or we put sulfur. Why we want to put sulfur?
To make it
Yeah, so we call this process, name the process is called
vulcanization.
Vulcanization, which eventually will make it more elastic and stronger as they are forming more and more bonds between the rubber. Okay, so let's say this is the rubber, so they are forming more and more bond. Okay, before this is just like that. Okay, no, not really a bond. After you put sulfur, there's a great bonding. Name the rubber M. Okay, of course this is called vulcanized rubber. Vulcanized rubber. Okay, vulcanized rubber. Take the object that is made from M. So which one is made from M? So
no, tire.
tire. Okay, because if you put sulfur, it will harden. It will be stronger. Balloon is more elastic, and medical glove is also very elastic. But tire, we can see it's not elastic because we already vulcanized the rubber by adding sulfur into it. Of course, yeah, there is a different function whether you want to make it more elastic or you want to make it other thing. It used to last time if I'm not mistaken, they used to Dunlop or what lah. They used to make handbag. They found a way to make the rubber harder. So they want to make, so they make handbag actually. Eventually no people buy the handbag because who want to buy I don't know lah. They just don't get the market of buying so they say they try to use the rubber to make tire because the rubber is hard. So eventually they are become very successful. I think it's what company? I forgot lah. Some of the very famous tire company actually come from this story. Table 4 show the body mass and height of two students, Muhammad Sufyan and Benny Tan. Body mass of 54, 67, height this slightly higher. So of course this topic they are talking about the BMI. So you can calculate your BMI whether it is you are at the, but here didn't put the range. Based on the body mass, calculate and classify them. Kemudian where's the one question? Oh sorry. Calculate the body mass index. Yeah, for Muhammad Sufyan and Benny Tan. Okay, so let's do this. The formula will be kg divided the mass, kg in kg divided by the height power of 2. So mass will be 54 over 1.45 power of 2. What's the answer? So this will be the body mass for Muhammad Sufyan.
Yes.
And for Benny, it will be, again, you're doing the same. 67 divided by 1.71 divided by 2. So you will get 22.913. So this one you can do by yourself to see whether you are healthy or not. So what is the body mass index scale? Okay, so you can see from here, this is the BMI for, it's a bit not clear but roughly we can see it here is 18.5. If you are lower than 18.5, you are considered underweight, lesser than 18.5. If you are more than 24 point, what is this number? 5 is it? You will consider overweight and so on. So what is your BMI? Well, I just want to check whether you are healthy or not. Anyway,
very healthy.
Okay, so for anyone else there, you can always check your BMI using this one. And if you are between 18.5 to 24.3, then you are considered normal. But of course for me, I just calculate mine is I used to be 18. I used to be underweight. Nowadays I'm 20. Wow. Yeah, I'm 20 already. Yeah, I used to be underweight because I'm very thin. But now I'm getting fatter because I always go out and eat at the food court. But I don't want to be like uncle, I'm thin. I don't want to be like uncle. You know the uncle, they are thin, but suddenly in the middle there is something like a ball.
Got the tummy.
I don't want like that. Okay, I just hope it to be nice. I hope you guys will be at least a good and healthy body shape. Okay, based on body mass, classify Muhammad Sufyan. So just now I just erased it. Maybe this will
overweight.
25.68. So 25.88, it will be slightly overweight. Yeah, so it will be overweight, obesity, extreme obesity. So they will consider as overweight. Of course, as you go more, you will die easily you will die. Thin also you will die. But usually normal weight and it depends on situation. Overweight might survive longer in winter because they have many fat oil. And underweight, who knows what happened during war and then suddenly no food. Then all the overweight will survive, all the underweight will die, okay, because there is nothing for them to burn in their body. Okay, so for Muhammad Sufyan is considered as overweight because it's more than 25. So wait, just let me put here. Sufyan is overweight. Wait, let me take my pencil. Where is my pencil? Here. Overweight. And for Benny Tan, I know it's Tan or Tan, it will be 22.9, so it will be considered as desirable weight. Wow, desirable weight. But of course sometimes this is slightly not accurate, but it's I think doctor they have a graph. They don't look at BMI because of I don't know lah, they say something in not that, but it is something lah. It shows something. Maybe because the person has different bone mass or what, I'm not sure, but there is a graph, and also due to your age. Certain age there will be a certain range, rather than you want to classify all the age into a specific category. So yeah, the doctor will have a graph to see. Anyway, but we are just studying SPM. Who is at risk of getting high blood pressure? Who is at risk?
Muhammad Sufyan.
Yeah, Muhammad Sufyan, because we can see that even though, or this is a trick question, even though he is lighter than Benny Tan, but the height is shorter, so he is a short fat guy, huh? That's why we need to use BMI to feel it. So of course he has a higher risk of getting blood pressure, so it will be Muhammad Sufyan, because obviously if he is fat, he has high cholesterol, he has a lot of fats. So if this is your blood vessel, this is the lumen. It used to be very big, the lumen, but due to the cholesterol, it will stuck at here. So eventually the hole will become smaller. So if the hole becomes smaller, the blood that go through this pipe is like a vein lah, it will be faster.
Blocked or faster.
Yeah, or it will be blocked. If it go faster, of course we say it's a high blood pressure. At some point it will be blocked, and if blocked means what will happen?
Heart attack.
Yeah, the person will experience high block means the thing will burst, outbreak.
Yes.
And stroke. Okay, so eventually it will burst, depend on which part of your body. Let's say usually if burst in your brain, then usually the person will die. That is why always keep yourself healthy, always exercise and stay fit, because we don't want the disease to come when we are at the age. Of course, if you are young, you don't really think about it, but eventually it will cost you as you grow up, and it will cost money, and it will cost it will cost difficulty for your family, time and money, really not worth it. So always keep yourself healthy. You don't want this thing to burst in your body. Suggest a way to reduce. So now we know that Muhammad Sufyan is obese, fat, overweight. So what Muhammad Sufyan should do? So of course he there's a many answer. You can say healthy diet, he must have enough of exercise, and he maybe to avoid food, avoid high calorie food. You can see from here. Oh, you cannot see. I got a banana at here, but you cannot see. I like to eat fruit as my snack. Don't eat all the snack. Take all the. You have?
I don't.
Yeah, you put a lot of fruit. I like to put a lot of fruit. I have to, just now I forget to buy. Just put a lot of fruit like kiwi, orange or what, and when you're hungry while you are watching Netflix, just take the banana and eat, take the apple and eat. Apple more difficult lah, because you're watching movie, you don't want to peel it, but maybe I think banana is easy. Kiwi is easy. Kiwi usually I cut into half, and also dragon fruit I put a lot. So if you not only we study science for exam, but I want to emphasize that how much important this is in our life, because eventually if you want to be successful, we want to take care of our health. We don't want to be successful, then all the money we just invest into the doctor. Just now we should invest, because time equals to money. Because I always tell myself I don't have enough time, but only I notice that I can increase my time by staying healthy. Because if I stay healthy, I will live longer. And if I live longer, then eventually maybe Chinese mindset lah, I got more time to earn money. If not, eventually if you're not healthy, you are just wasting all the money only. Yeah, it's still the same thing. Dragonfly show a simple cell. What time is it now? Okay, so why don't we take a short break, and I see you by 9 o'clock, okay?